To Mr. Rubin and Mr. McLeod, the FTC operates under laws that are some of them 100 years old, or maybe older. Is there a need for an update in these laws because of the society's changed, technology's changed? Can you give me a briefing? You smiled, Mr. Rubin. I'm afraid you're going to give me a dissertation on. But are there needs to update the rules and regulations that the FTC operates under?
I didn't realize my reputation was quite that bad.
You have that doctor in front of there, so I figured there's a PhD behind it, and that.
The AAI report, and I would point out that the Antitrust Modernization Commission report as well, does not see any need for textual revision of any major sort to the antitrust laws. It is a judicially implemented body of law, and because markets change, because conduct changes, the world changes very fast, this is an appropriate approach in the view of the AAI.
Right. Mr. McLeod?
Let me see if I can make that a little shorter. No.
I appreciate that. The other question, Mr. McLeod, you said, and I think this is accurate, that when Congress puts narrowly defining laws that are very narrow, that's something you believe diminishes the FTC's abilities. Is that what you said? Is that accurate?
I think so. When the Commission has a strength that it stops using and instead becomes an agency looking at a narrow mandate, that strength begins to atrophy.
Mr. Rubin, would you take that same?
Yes, I concur with this statement.
So, and I don't know how familiar you are with the right to repair law, but is that a law that's narrowly defining the issue for the FTC? Is that something?
I don't believe that the AAI report specifically addresses that proposal. I believe that the AAI as an organization does support the right to repair bill as it stands. As far as whether that is narrow enough, I'm not sure I can give an opinion on it.
Mr. McLeod?
Well, I am not familiar with that law, but the question I would have about the law is whether it really would give the Commission more power to address anti-competitive or unfair acts and practices than the FTC Act already gives the Commission.
Right. Mr. Lowe, you say there's a problem out there, but the facts don't seem to bear that out. And looking at reports that the National Automotive Service Task Force in 2006 received 32 service information requests. The year in 2005, 48. In 2006, of those 32, 31 were resolved. And we're talking about 500 million automotive service repair events. It doesn't seem to me that that's a big problem. As a former automobile dealer, I mean, it was frequently my service manager would call the auto manufacturer up and say, hey, we're getting some information we need here. I mean, there's always information problems, but that to me seems like that's minuscule. And yet you're proposing legislation that's, you say, is going to correct the problem that really doesn't seem to exist to me. Can you expound upon that?
Well, I think that, the discussion I had with Congressman Westmoreland kind of, highlights the problem in that I don't really conceive that NASDAQ is an accurate measure of the repair problem out there that we're seeing when we talk to our members in the field. I think, this is what we see happening right now in the industry. Our industry, when they run into a problem repairing a car, they don't want to tell their customer they can't fix that car. They either find some way, either a friend at the dealership, or they have a relationship with their dealership over the table or under the table, but they find a way to repair that car. Our members are problem solvers. They're not people that like to whine. That's my job. They like to make sure they get that car repaired without the customer knowing. And because once that customer loses trust in that repair shop, they're going to start going to the dealer. And that is a big, big concern to every individual small shop. And these guys, they are been building these shops from, their family-owned shops. They might be in it for generations. They're running into more and more roadblocks. And yeah, they're still in there and they're still fighting, but we're concerned it's going to be, in the long term, a losing battle. So we do see a problem, but we only see the problem growing in the future.
Well, and I guess that's my problem with what you're saying. You say that the folks that, and I know many service repair operators and owners, and I have the greatest respect for them. And this is not about me being against them, it's me being against, I think what you're trying to say to us is, I hear you are whining, but it's not coming from the automotive repair people, because in fact, you have very few members on your board or in your association that actually repair cars or automobiles. In fact, the Automotive Service Association is really the institution or the association that represents the thousands and thousands of people that actually fix cars in this country, and they're opposed to your legislation. So I do hear whining, and I think it's coming from the big part manufacturers, the Napas and the AutoZones, and so again, I think I know where you're coming from here. And in fact, you.
Can I respond
Appreciate it.
to his question, to his statement?
Ranking Member Shep.